Do you ever wonder why racial discrimination still exists in the 21st century? It's a question that many of us grapple with, given the strides we've made in societal advancement. Yet the harsh reality is that racial discrimination is not a relic of the past, but a persistent, pervasive issue that continues to plague our modern society. It's easy to dismiss racial discrimination as an antiquated notion, especially when we see diverse faces on our screens and in our communities. But the numbers tell a different story. Consider this. Studies show that a considerable percentage of people globally have experienced racial discrimination at some point in their lives. This isn't just about hurt feelings or misunderstandings. This is about hate crimes that are committed each year, with victims specifically targeted due to their race. And it's not just about overt acts of violence. Racial discrimination seeps into every facet of life, creating disparities in employment, education, and healthcare. For instance, people from certain racial backgrounds are statistically more likely to face job discrimination, have limited access to quality education, and receive subpar healthcare. These are not just numbers, they are realities that millions of people live with every day. There are myths that often circulate about racial discrimination, myths that suggest it's not as bad as it seems, or that it's something only certain people experience. But these myths crumble under the weight of facts. Racial discrimination is not selective. It does not choose its victims based on merit or worth. It is a systemic, deeply rooted issue that affects people of all races, in all corners of the world. Understanding the truth about racial discrimination is the first step towards addressing it. It's about acknowledging the problem, not minimizing it. It's about listening to the experiences of those who face it, not dismissing them. It's about taking action, not standing by. As these statistics illustrate, racial discrimination is not a thing of the past, but a present-day reality that affects millions of people around the world. And it's a reality that we as a society need to confront and challenge every single day. So, what can we do to combat racial discrimination? The answer lies in a multi-pronged approach of education, legislation, and advocacy. First and foremost, education plays a vital role. It's not just about learning in schools, it's about a broader understanding of the world and its diverse cultures. By increasing our knowledge, we can break down the walls of ignorance that often fuel prejudice. Legislation, on the other hand, provides a foundation for justice. Laws against racial discrimination send a strong message that such behavior is not only morally wrong, but also legally unacceptable. These laws act as a deterrent, but they also provide a means of redress for those who have been victims of discrimination. Advocacy is the third pillar in our fight against racial discrimination. This involves standing up and speaking out against prejudice, and it's something that each and every one of us can do. We can advocate for change in our communities, in our workplaces, and in our social circles. The importance of each individual's role in this fight cannot be overstated. Change starts with each one of us. It starts with acknowledging that racial discrimination exists and then taking conscious steps to combat it. It's about challenging our own biases, and it's about standing up for others when we see them being treated unfairly. A shining example of global efforts to address racial discrimination is the World Day to Eliminate Racial Discrimination. This day serves as a reminder of our collective responsibility to promote and protect the principles of equality and justice. It's a time to reflect on how far we've come, but also to acknowledge the work that still needs to be done. In the end, the fight against racial discrimination is not just for those who are victims. It's for all of us. It's for those of us who believe in a world where the color of a person's skin does not determine their worth. Remember, the fight against racial discrimination is not just for those who are victims, but for all of us who believe in equality and justice.